So, how are you feeling about this campaign? This little one shot that we're going
I
through.
I would say that on the behalf of my character, I'm feeling nervous. It's
What?
yeah.
Why?
Well, I now found myself in the woods in a dark spot with the light of the soul of a creature that wants to eat a little girl or me, and
Right.
um yeah, and the little girl's kind of creeping me out, and the creature's kind of creeping me out, and yeah, just seems like there's quite a bit of solid reasoning behind being nervous right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Otherwise, feel great, feel real good. So
Feeling great.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want, we can kind of, like I said, there's two main ways that this can end. So it is entirely up to you. So we're back to the old Goosebumps, create your own story kind of
yeah.
adventure.
Pick your ending.
So I don't have a direction that I want this to go.
Okay.
If things do turn bad for you, I have a mechanic that I want to try.
Okay.
Like you said, you don't even know what level you are, so you don't know your hit points, your
Correct.
AC,
Yeah,
that kind of
I know
thing.
very
So
little about my character right now, other than the fact that I am a Fey Wanderer Ranger, and I have pretty decent perception, pretty decent stealth, and I feel comfortable in the woods. I've got some weapons that seem to be pretty decent weapons. So yeah, that's what I'm rocking with.
yeah,
And I know that
if
the
you
one spell that
really
I've tried to use failed miserably. So
if you kind of think about it, giving you all that information given, you could probably figure out some
I
other details about yourself.
if I was really good at being able to like work backwards, but the problem is like every time we've played D&D, you know that that's been like a struggle for me is just keeping up with the trajectory of my character. So like as we go up in levels,
Right.
just keeping track of all of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, like I would hypothesize that I'm somewhere around level maybe 7, maybe 9, but I could be way off. I like that's just based on like preliminary stuff that I saw. Because like as soon as I told you that like I'm like, yeah, I think I'm a ranger, and you confirmed that. As soon as I knew that aspect of it, I started just like jumping onto the D&D pages and looking at stuff. But it's like, that's done me very little good in that sense. Like, I mean, obviously, like I tried to use a spell and cast it on, which is a third level ranger spell, and it did nothing. So, but I know
Yeah,
that.
maybe you just don't know it. Maybe
Well,
you just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know it
yeah,
yet.
right. Well, but it wouldn't make sense for me not to like at if it's a third level spell that you get like automatically in a sense. I would imagine that I've got to be higher than third level for some of the other things that I've got going on, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, maybe I'm a level 1 and I'm just gushy, just ripe for this thing to absolutely romp all over me. But we shall see. All right.
All right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I had a question and then I kind of found a better question, I think.
All right.
And this is in the lines of something we've talked about before. Would you rather, and you have to answer these questions.
Okay.
Would you rather explore the deepest part of the ocean
All right.
or be the first person on Mars?
We're working under the assumption that you live through both of these things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as I know that I'm living through it and stuff like that, then I would prefer to be the first. Man, that's a tough one. There's a part of me that wants to be the first person on Mars just because I feel like there's going to be like a lot more like recognition and news coverage of that in a sense. But I feel like for the sake of science and for the sake of benefits to humanity, that exploring the bottom of the ocean is a much more worthwhile endeavor. And so
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the ocean. I'd rather be the first person to explore the depths of the ocean.
Surprisingly, I would probably do the ocean as well, just because of the sheer time it would take to get to Mars.
Yeah, yeah,
Given the current technology that we do possess that we know of, I would say like because I don't know exactly how long it would take to get to Mars, but it's just one of those things where I know it's a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And so as much as the ocean terrifies me, I would probably do that, knowing that I would survive.
Right. That's the whole thing is like, as long as I know that I'm coming back from the depths of the ocean, I would rather be the first person to explore that. But if it was iffy as to whether or not you were going to survive the trip in a sense, then I might be more willing to go with the Mars thing, because I think that for me personally, I think that death in outer space would be much more maybe quick and painless than death in the ocean would be. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
He's like, Mars is way closer than I thought.
honestly, it is. It would take about 6 to 9 months one way.
Oh, that easy time.
But I guess the current constraint, launch opportunities only occur about every 26 months. So a little over 2 years, where the trajectory lines up correctly, where it would only take that. But I'm guessing it's the sustainability going
right.
and continuing to go and staying on course and things like that.
Yeah.
And,
I would imagine
the survivability.
Yeah, the spending of fuel and stuff like that, because like that tends to be the thing that just about always hinders space travel in a sense. Is we just don't have the fuel capacity in a sense to send things that far out and stuff. I mean, you think about how long it took them to go around the moon and come back, and the moon is so much exponentially closer than anything else in outer space.
It says there's no single propellant number. It depends heavily on crew size, mission duration, propulsion type, how much cargo, whether return fuel is made on Mars. But for conventional chemical propulsion human mission, the total propellant handled across launch, Earth orbit, refueling, interplanetary travel, landing, Mars ascent, and return would be on the order of thousands of metric tons.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because I think too, like, because Mars is bigger than Earth, right?
No.
I honestly don't know.
Very comparable size.
I'm working on like an assumption there that is bigger than, but you know, because hypothetically, if you have a planet that is bigger than Earth, the fuel consumption to get off of that planet because of the gravitational pull is going to be larger than what it is to leave Earth and get to that planet in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Mars is a little over half Earth's diameter.
Oh, yeah.
But it's only about 15% of Earth's volume and 11% of Earth's mass.
So it costs you less
surface
fuel.
Gravity is about 38%. So basically, a 200-pound person would weigh roughly 76 pounds on Mars. So the propulsion to get off wouldn't necessarily be the issue. It's just the capacity of handling that much fuel.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's, like I said, that's the thing that tends to hang up most of the stuff that they talk about with space travel and everything, is just you have no way of like fueling in a sense. That's why in all the movies you see, like in Interstellar, that they go out and dock with a station that's already been like preloaded with fuel and stuff like that to get them a certain distance, and then they, you know, unhook from that thing and go on to explore other stuff. And so, yeah. That's a good question though. That one made me think a little bit, like where would I rather be? I think that if it's for science and I can survive and bring the information back, the depths of the ocean. If it's for glory and maybe just you know, which place would you rather die in? Space. I would go to space.
Right. And you could potentially farm poop potatoes.
That's right. Yeah, shout out to Joe. we're back on your poop potato stuff. So, yeah, you could take Jimothy with you.
Oh, you'd be the first Jimothy in space.
It could keep you company as you go. Yeah, just a little stubby raccoon. All right, well, let's fire this bad boy off. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh. I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You're going to be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yeah.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Thank you very
much. Hi.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh, it's a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
Josh.
All right. We're ready to continue on with our story.
Yes, we are.
All right, so Josh, you want to give us a little bit of a recap of where we left off last time and what the basically like ultimatum that I've been given?
Yeah, basically, Josh found himself in a village with a mother standing there holding her child's mittens, saying that her daughter found or followed a blue light. This lantern's missing. He encountered this creature named Morrow. He has Nell, and from everything that Josh has gleaned, that he might eat her, question mark.
Certainly seems like that's what he's been saying.
So it's one of those things where the lantern seems to be the key focus of this, wanting to either one, get the lantern back with Nell, or two, destroy Morrow and get the lantern back, or hopefully prevent maybe the lantern being broken. Basically, we left off where Morrow offered to send Nell back home and keep Josh's character in his stead.
Yep, that's exactly what he offered to me at the end of last session, was to let Nell go and for me to stay, with the insinuation that I was going to become the snack. We're picking up there.
One thing that you kind of remember Morrow saying is you've been kind of trying to bargain with him and reason with him in the last episode. And Morrow said, as he kind of looked down at Nell and looked back to you, careful. Kindness is a dangerous thing to offer a starving creature.
I think that's what sent me on the spiral of offering to maybe go and hunt down bad guys to try to entice into the woods for him, in a sense. So I'm going to speak to Morrow now and say, could we touch back on just a little bit when you were talking about that you get lonely out here? Does the consuming people thing have anything to do with being lonely?
I can't remember the last time I fed. I told you, no one comes into these woods. I am starving. But let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When your people fear something, what do they do with it?
Well, most people, when they fear something, they either figure out ways to keep it away from them, or they seek to destroy the thing that they fear. But
so what do you seek? Resolution?
To be honest with you, my main
concern
is just to get young Nell there back to her mom. As for me, I don't really know what I'm seeking, to be honest with you. I'm kind of a lost soul in the same sense that you are, if you will.
Just kind of I'm not going to say like a reminder. So along with Nell, they are trying to recover the lantern. They do want the lantern back. You could kind of glean that from Aaron and Nell's mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, just kind of resetting the scene. In this clearing, you have an older shrine, half sunken into the moss roots. Its stone door hangs open. The stolen lantern burns in the corner of the clearing, its blue flame casting no warmth. Nell Voss was sitting beside it, unharmed but pale and distant. Across from her stood the thin figure, the coat that moves like smoke. Two dim blue lights where his face should be. So that's kind of resetting the scene for everybody, since it's been a week and 5 minutes since Josh and I have started this one shot.
I think that at this point in time, like I would want to ask him and just kind of be like, so kind of feeling of the people back in the village when I talked with them, because I just happened into the place. Honestly, don't really know much about what's going on and stuff. It kind of feels like their whole goal is for the mom, for Nell's mom. She just wants to get her back home safe. And the other people wanted the lantern back because they seem to think that the lantern was keeping them safe from something. Can you tell me anything about that?
I told you I was trying to protect the village. They stole my spirit and placed it in the lamp.
What were you protecting the village from?
Creatures like me.
Others like you?
Yes.
Are the others like you still here?
I can feel them, but I have not seen them in many decades because I am here still in body and separated spirit, protecting this village.
So you're still looking over them to a degree, even though they took your spirit and trapped you?
I have no choice. My spirit is here, so my body must stay here.
So what would happen if you were set free?
That I'm not sure.
If you had freedom, what would you do with it?
It would be hard to say. I've thought about it, but I admit I have thought about staying and protecting, even though I was been held against my will. Something drew me to this place to protect it.
Yeah, so I'm curious about that. What made you want to protect them in the first place?
From creatures like me who didn't have a conscience, more just bloodthirsty and out for themselves.
So you're saying, at least at some point in time, you had a conscience then.
I've always had a conscience. It was given to me.
So do you think that if, let's just say, hypothetically, I could help you out and help you to get your soul and body back together, and let's just say maybe I could talk with the people of the village and help them to understand who you are and why you're here and stuff. And maybe, who knows, like you said before, you seem like you've been kind of lonely. Maybe there could be a mutual friendship there that you could still protect and do the things like it sounds like you want to do. And they could be your friends and figure out how to come alongside you in a sense.
Anytime I have ventured close to the village, the people shrink away and bar their windows and shut their doors and turn out the lights.
Yeah.
My life is the only thing that keeps that village lit.
Yeah, that's, I see that. But I think that's because they don't understand you.
Nobody ever has, especially after they kept me locked in that lantern.
Right. And so sounds like what you need is a friend who maybe could help to broker a relationship between you and the village.
What would you do?
Well, I think first it would be a really good thing if we could show them some good faith and let me take just Nell back to the village to her mom. That could be the beginnings of me being able to help win them over to your side.
So with that, like I said, Nell is just sitting there almost like in a daze, in a trance, like she has that vacant look in her eyes.
Right.
Do you try to interact with her at all?
No, I think that right now, like I'm still trying to like play everything safe because I'm not sure what Maro's reaction is going to be to any kind of like advances or anything on my part. Like if I was to try to, take her in a sense, I don't know how he's going to respond to that and what's going to ensue there.
Why don't you try to call out to her and see if she will go to you?
I'll say, okay. Hey, Nell, do you want to go home and see your mom?
She just stares blankly off to the forest.
I look back at Morrow and I say, it seems like there might be something that's come over young Nell there. Would you happen to know what's going on in that?
Why don't you think anybody ever touches the lantern?
Is that kind of like like under a trance type of deal?
You seem to be a little bit more intelligent than most.
I appreciate that.
So all of a sudden, he seems almost detached and kind of bored with going around and around.
Sure.
back and forth with you. So go ahead and roll me a percentile die.
Percentile? Okay.
Yes. To see what he does.
65.
He kind of looks at you, he kind of looks down at Nell, and he just simply asks, "Do you think if you can break this prison that my soul has been imprisoned in, would you give it a try? And then maybe see what the village thinks of me?"
I think that's worth a better shot than the current ways that we're trying to do things, man. So I'm going to kind of like ponder for a second, and then I'm going to say to him, I think that if we're going to try to break your prison and stuff like that, there's going to have to be some token or some way that you can kind of guarantee me that setting you free from this prison isn't going to end up in you just like wiping out the entire village.
Why would I wipe out something that I am protecting?
Well, they trapped your soul for a really long time, man. And I could understandably see why you'd be kind of ticked off about that. So I just need some reassurances. Like you were talking about Nell being a snack and potentially me being a snack. And I'm just saying, like, when you start talking about eating people, it gets a little touchy.
Flesh is just flesh. And he turns around and starts walking into the sanctuary, his home, you would assume. And Nell kind of gets up and just starts following him down the steps. So you're about 20-ish feet from him. Like you weren't like right up, interacting. You were kind of still keeping your distance from him. You were like 20, 30 feet away. So what do? He starts walking down the...
I said, Morrow, where are you headed, bud?
Home, because this conversation is going nowhere.
Oh, I felt like we were making good progress. I was trying to figure out a way to help you out, maybe, so that you wouldn't be stuck in this current situation anymore.
What's another day when you've been waiting over 500 years?
Yeah,
and he just walks. He lets Nell go first, and then he just walks down the steps.
Is the lantern still sitting on like up above?
No, he has the lantern with him.
Oh. I walk closer, like headed towards the opening, and I'm calling after him, and I'm like, Mara, I'm really gonna have to insist that Nell doesn't go down there with you, man.
So as soon as you say the word insists, you are instantly at the door.
I'm instantly at the door?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what to do with that.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
At advantage.
14.
You realize that it was nothing that Morrow did to draw you instantly to the door. You kind of... your wits are starting to come back to you a little bit, and you do know with your Fey wandering, you have the ability to Fey step. Basically, you can teleport within 30 feet to a point that you can see.
Okay. And so saying the word insist seemed to trigger that for some reason?
It's not necessarily a word trigger. It's a
desire
feeling that you needed to be somewhere as quickly as possible.
Okay, man. Okay. So how close does it put me to him as soon as I like teleport then?
Basically, you are like two steps behind. Like he's down 2 steps, Nell's down another 2 steps, and you can see that it is very dim. Like the blue light is starting to light up where the stairs are, and you can kind of see past it. You might think that it's about 15, 20 steps down to the bottom, what you think is the floor.
Okay. So yeah, as I teleport closer to him and kind of catch my breath from that, in a sense, I'm gonna draw my sword, and I'm going to try to just like loop my sword through the handle on the lantern and say, I really want to be your friend, but I really got to insist that Nell comes back with me.
Odd way to make friends by drawing a sword. And as soon as he says the word sword, he is at the bottom of the steps.
And I'm gonna
with Nell.
I'm running down and I'm calling after him, and I say I only use the sword because I can't touch the lantern.
As you get to the bottom of the steps, he's kind of in the middle of the room right now, and he is standing behind a table with Nell is kind of sitting off in the corner, and the lantern is hung in the middle of this circular room.
How's Nell sitting in the corner of a circular room?
You know, because it's a squared room, actually, because a square is a circle.
Ah, okay. Yeah, sure.
Because there's 4 90-degree angles in a square that add up to 360 degrees, and a circle is 360 degrees. So a square is a circle.
Yep. All right. I'm not even going to argue.
She's sitting by a doorway.
Okay.
The edge of a doorway.
Yeah, I got you.
What do you want to do? So you're standing in front of a table.
So I'm going to move closer and just, I'm still trying so hard, like, to get this guy to, like, see things from my perspective. I'm like, listen, man, like, I really want to help you. Like, I genuinely do. You got to work with me here. You got to give me something to be able to go off of.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
7, so 11.
You still are feeling inspired.
Okay. Am I sensing that this inspiration is coming from the little lantern that I have hanging on my side?
Yes.
Okay. And if I like reach down and like hold the lantern kind of in my hand, like grasp it, does anything change?
You feel that your perception kind of grows the closer you are to the lantern. So that gives you the ability you can reroll that D20, or you can add 10 to it, your choice.
Well, if I add 10, that would put me at a 21. So let's do that.
Okay.
I'm scared if I reroll, it's going to be in that one. So
well, you'd still take the 11 because I'd let you choose. Anyway, so you kind of notice that this is kind of like a shrine that he's standing in front of.
Okay.
Or behind. And on the stone table, there are 3 bowls. And inscribed on the front of the table says, "A home remembered, a flame shared, a name freely given." There's 3 bowls sitting on the table. The first bowl on your right is a bowl that contains cold gray ash beneath a carving of a cottage that says home. In the middle, there's an unlit beeswax candle beneath a sunburst that just says flame. And on the far left, there's a bowl that contains a blank iron nameplate beneath an open eye that says name.
Oh boy. Okay, so this is a riddle that I got to figure out. So, all right. So
you have home, flame, and name.
Home, flame, and name. And so then on was it the one that had home on it has ash in it, right?
Yes, cold gray ash beneath a carving of a cottage.
And then the one that had name had a nameplate with nothing on it.
Yep, and that was on the left.
Right.
No, left.
Yeah. I got it. And then what was in the bowl that has flame on it?
That has an unlit beeswax candle beneath a sunburst.
Unlit beeswax candle below a sunburst?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
here's the D&D puzzle.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the thing that was inscribed on the table before? What was it saying?
It said, "A home remembered, a flame shared, and a name freely given."
Okay. This is gonna drive me crazy now. A home remembered, a flame shared, and a name freely given. Gosh.
and I'll kind of direct you into if you kind of I don't know. You can ask about the bowls
Yeah,
or
I was
anything.
gonna say that's what I was gonna do is ask Mara, like, as I stand there and kind of like look over the thing. I'm just like, what's the deal with the bowls and the table?
You said that you would want to free me from this prison. Yes.
I would love to help you out as long as I can know for sure that you're like ready to help when you're free.
All I know is this is the only way to free me truly, by figuring out these bowls. I believe one is not enough, but if you can figure out two, I think I might be able to be free again.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask him, like, do you think it's something about what's in the bowls and having to do that, or having to move the bowls somewhere?
The bowls are stationary.
Okay, so
You
probably
would
the stuff
have
inside.
to answer what the bowls are asking.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like, if for those of you listening along with us and stuff like that, I'm like sitting here with a piece of paper and I'm drawing bowls and writing on the bowls like the stuff that goes along with them.
And you can do a perception. You can, if you, I mean, perception would be good.
What is remind me again, the one that's on my left is the one that has the blank name tag in it, but what was inscribed on the bowl?
Yes. Name.
Just name. Okay, so and
Yes.
then the middle bowl was the candle, the beeswax candle under the sun burst.
Yep.
And then the final bowl was ash below the cottage.
Yes.
Okay. A home remembered, a flame.
So it says
shared,
a home remembered,
and
a
name
flame
freely given.
shared. Yes.
Okay. A name freely given. So I'm going to, man. I hate this kind of stuff. A name freely given.
Now you know how I felt.
Yeah. A home remembered, a flame shared, a name freely given. The bowls are stationary. Can I light the candle?
Sure.
Okay, I light the candle, the beeswax candle in the middle.
Do you search around for something that you have?
Like to light it with?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that I have flint and steel, right?
Yeah, you check your pocket and you find a small wooden box that you would recognize as your tinderbox. Being out in the wilderness and things like that for cold and trying to keep warm and lighting fires at night, you have this tinderbox.
Okay.
So you go ahead and light it.
Yeah, I go ahead and light the candle.
So a soft glow emanates from this beeswax candle, and Morrow kind of looks at you with a slight bit of clarity, and you swear that the lantern kind of flickers like with a warm light instead of blue. It kind of flickers to like an actual like candle like lit in a lantern, and Morrow just says, "Warmth freely given. I had forgotten that fire could mean anything more than but a cage."
Okay. I'm gonna check and see if I have any tools that I could like. Or actually, no. What if I dip my fingers? Like I touch the ashes to get some like on my fingers, and then on the nameplate, I write in ashes, Morrow, and then put it back in the bowl with name on it.
Okay, so Morrow kind of looks at you like inquisitively, and as you put his name back into this bowl, he just says, he looks at you and says, "Say it."
I kind of look at him and I'm like, we're gonna be friends, right?
You're so close.
But we're gonna be friends, right?
He just stares at you. Say it.
I say Morrow.
How do you say it?
I think for a second and I look him like right in his eyes and I go, my friend, Morrow.
He like kind of like blinks, and it's you almost see like things like start to return in his eyes, and he kind of just says to himself, he kind of looks down at the nameplate, and he says, no one has used it gently in a very long time. And then all of a sudden, the lantern changes from a cold blue to a soft gold, like more so like a regular lantern would appear. And all of a sudden, you just kind of hear, and you notice that Nell is broken of this trance, and she basically becomes lucid and runs straight at you.
Okay. I kind of catch her as she like comes towards me, and I like stoop down and I just say, Nell, are you okay?
She's like almost in tears because she doesn't know where she is, and she just kind of like shakes her head, and she kind of buries her head like kind of in your shoulder, and then you kind of look over at Morrow, and the blue flame kind of folds inward where his eyes were, and it basically shrinks down to like a bright point to look more so like actual eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it blooms gold. Morrow's shadow becomes less thin, less broken, and for the first time it has a face, not young or old, but just tired.
Okay. And so I'll look at him and I go, Morrow, are you okay?
I haven't felt this way in a long time. I'm just tired. But he kind of like looks at his hands, and it's almost like he's seeing himself again for the first time. And you notice that the light is stayed that bright, warm yellow and gold and orange, and it actually seems to glow like a regular lantern. And he's just like, it's been so long since I've been whole.
I'll ask him, are you back to your normal self now?
I think so. I'm free from the cage. And he kind of looks up at the lantern, and he's like, I forgot how warm it felt. It's just been so cold for so long. I forgot.
And I'll say, welcome back, man.
Well, you kept up your end of the bargain, and I'm very thankful for that. You can take Nell and go back to the village. I will keep the road, but tell them no more cages.
You have my word, man. Thank you so much for letting me take Nell back. I'll talk to the people, and here's my guarantee: I'm gonna be back.
He kind of like nods, like you can tell like he's still drained.
Yeah.
That he's been separated from his soul for so long that it's just basically like
he feels all the wear and tear
for a little bit.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So so I'll tell him, I'm like, yeah, just stay here. I'll be back, and I'm gonna bring you some food when I come back because I'm still nervous about him trying to like eat me.
I would much appreciate that.
All right, I said, you got it. And so I kind of tuck Nell up under my arm, and I say, come on, Nell, I got to get you back to your mom. So we make our way up out of the crypt or whatever it is that he lives in, and I kind of find my backtracking way of like going back towards the
Everything
village.
seems to be a little bit more. It's still like later evening, not necessarily night. Not much time has passed. The rain seems to have subsided a little bit, and it's starting to get clearer, so you can kind of see. It's almost like the path is brighter than it was when you came back out, so you can easily find your way back to the village.
Okay.
Before you leave, did you want to ask about the lantern?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that'd be like a comeback conversation, like when I came back to him and stuff, like just the two of us to sit down, because I know that Nell's like freaking out, so I think that getting her home was going to be my top priority. But like if we want to speed up and do like that part, then I could come back with the food and stuff and sit down and eat with him and ask questions in that sense.
So you go back to the village, and everything seems to be a little bit lighter in the village. Like it's almost when you got there, there was kind of like it was kind of in like a dull gray, like sepia tone to the village, but it seems to have more natural color to it.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll go. I don't know where Nell and her mom lived because I didn't ask about their house.
She's kind of standing at the edge of the path that you went in on, kind of like waiting to see if you come back or if Nell comes back.
Gotcha. So as we approach, I'll just motion to her mom and send Nell over to her and stuff, and then I'll kind of approach afterwards and I go, hey, I kind of solved where Nell was, but just so you guys know, the soul that you guys had, the spirit you guys had trapped inside of that lantern was a person, and he's actually kind of nice.
What do you mean? Something was trapped in there? So the stories are true that something was protecting us, but then it was trapped in there?
Yeah, turns out your grandma totally right about everything in that sense. So yeah, he was trying to look after the village, and the villagers, because they didn't know what he was or who he was, ended up trapping his spirit in that lantern.
She's so happy that Nell is back, and she hasn't let go. She's kind of doing that mom thing where she has Nell like to one side, and she's kind of leaning around, like trying to talk to you. And then all of a sudden you see Aaron kind of poke his head out of his door. He's like, hey, what happened?
Hey,
where's the
Aaron,
lantern?
It's great to see you, man. We should talk about the lantern thing.
But what do you mean? Where is it? Did you take it?
All right, you're just gonna need to take it calm just a little bit there, bud. But here's kind of the rundown of it. Is you didn't seem to know very much about the lantern and what was like in the lantern and what it meant, but it was actually the spirit of what seems like a pretty decent dude that was trying to protect the village back in the day, and you guys locked his spirit inside of that lantern, which was not a great thing to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I kind of figured that much.
Do you want to go ahead and roll a perception check at an advantage?
I got a nat 20 on the second roll, so up 24.
Yeah, he knew the entire time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of be yeah. So yeah, I know you guys are playing dumb about this, but I think you did know, Aaron.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. What I did tell you was partially true. Our ancestors kind of trapped him into his soul into that light, and kind of used it for protection, and he was kind of just here to protect us, and we didn't want him to leave. So we trapped him in there. But what are we gonna do now that the lantern's gone, since you didn't bring that back?
So
did you kill him?
I'll kind of no, I definitely didn't kill him. As a matter of fact, he and I have an agreement together, and I'm gonna go back and take in some food and hang out with him for a bit to try to find out some more information about me and about that lantern. But here's the deal, Aaron. You guys treated him pretty crummy for a few hundred years now, and as I'm saying this,
we didn't.
I'm gonna walk over and I kind of slide my left arm around his shoulders, and with my right hand I bring out my dagger and slide it right up underneath his chin and kind of lift his chin a little bit.
Whoa!
And I go, and here's the deal, Aaron. To make up for the hundreds of years that you guys have had him trapped here, you guys are now going to treat him like a king. Is that understood?
I mean, yeah. I guess. Okay. Just put your weapons down.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'll kind of like slide.
What is that?
What is what?
He kind of points back to the road, and he's like, "What in the world is that thing?"
I look and to see what he's talking about.
You see what you know as Morrow kind of standing at the edge of the path.
Okay. I say to him, so the Morrow can hear me. I say, that is my friend, Morrow.
Your friend?
Yeah, he's my friend, and he's the one that you guys have had trapped inside of that lantern for a long time now.
So he's the one we gotta leave alone. Is he gonna like stop protecting us?
No, not just leave alone. He's the one that you're gonna be friends with. He's the one that you guys are gonna help to feed and help to take care of, and make sure that he has companionship on the times when I'm not around.
As long as he doesn't leave and still protects us, I guess we can do that.
He has told me that he has a desire to still protect this place, even though he couldn't explain why. But this is going to come down to you guys living up to your end of the bargain as well.
Okay.
I just kind of slowly dragged my dagger like down over his Adam's apple, basically, so that he kind of gets the point.
Okay.
I'll flip it around and stick it back in its little sheath and stuff, and then I kind of walk away from Aaron, but towards Nell and her mom, and motion for Morrow to come a little bit closer and stuff.
He tries to step forward, but there is something that is preventing him, almost like he has to stay in the woods. Like he can still protect the village,
okay,
but it's almost like he can't cross that threshold.
So I'll kind of be like, Morrow, are you okay?
Yeah. There was, when I first set up this protection, I was worried that something would happen. So I kind of protected myself from going inside the village. So I can keep the road and I can enter when I am absolutely needed, but I stay out here to watch over the village.
I say, okay, hold right there. And so I'll walk over to Nell and her mom, and I'm like, would you guys mind grabbing some food? And so I'll send them off, like, to go get something to eat and bring it back over to where.
Yeah, they go back and kind of get some rudimentary food, some vegetables, a little bit of like dried salted pork and bread and things like that, and they give it to you.
Yeah, so I'll walk over and hand it to Morrow, and then kind of invite them to come closer to where he is and stuff, just so they can kind of see him up close and kind of begin to interact in a sense.
They're still very hesitant. They're kind of keeping their distance, but you can kind of tell that they eventually will accept him, but they're kind of keeping the distance. I mean, essentially he just kind of kidnapped her daughter.
Yeah.
So there's a little apprehension there, but they do acknowledge that, her grandmother's history is more accurate than what Aaron's been telling them.
Right.
And you can kind of see that the village is uneasy, but they're not hostile in any way or things like that. So
gotcha. Okay. So
yeah.
So I'll hand the plate off to Morrow, and as he's kind of like maybe starting to munch on it or whatever, I'll say, hey Morrow, what if you and I go back to your place and let me ask you some questions? And so along the way, as we're like walking and stuff like that, I'll ask him about, I'll say, I've got this lantern, and I kind of show it to him and stuff, and say, like, I'm still putting all the pieces together of my life and stuff. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this, would you?
My kind has selected few people who are one with nature and have chosen them to wander like we do. The symbol of the lantern was my way of trying to find help and hopefully being able to break this curse without coming into any ill will or bloodshed, and I thank you for that. And your kind has always been civil towards us and my kind. So I'm
kind of say, like,
glad that.
What do you mean by my kind?
What do you mean? Don't you? I think there's one telltale sign that kind of gives away what you are.
What would that be?
He kind of points to your head and kind of over to your ears.
I go, I slowly like raise my hand up and just kind of like slide along my ears, and I go, I'm an elf?
Yeah, you're a wood elf. I thought you would know that.
I tell him, like I said, a lot of things are missing from my memory right now, man. Some things are coming back, but I'm still trying to put the pieces together.
I understand how that is, but yeah, the elves have always been somewhat civil towards my kind, and it's just one of those things where just let the village know that I will continue to protect this and may need help from time to time, and you'll notice that when there is trouble, that lantern that you have, that little charm that you have, will send a light, and you will know that there is help needed somewhere, whether it be here or somewhere else. You can use the gifts that you've been given through your skills with nature and being around and being touched by my kind, that you can go places very quickly.
So I have the epiphany at this point of like that he's a fae, and that's where the fae touch came from, and like my part of it and stuff. Okay, and so I kind of look down at the lantern and stuff, and grasp it a little tighter in my palm and stuff, and then I look back up at him and I go, "You got it, man. I'm on your side." Also, what do you think about me building a little house out there close to where your place is?
If you would like, that is perfectly fine with me. It would be in my area of protection, but not necessarily within my protection. But I mean, you can handle yourself well. If you need something, you can always send one of your animals to ask for help.
Animals?
You know, the ones you can talk to.
He's like talk to animals. I'm looking around now, like searching for like any creature that's nearby. You squirrel.
He just like kind of looks at you and just kind of scurries off.
So, yeah, I'll say, yeah, absolutely, man. That sounds great. And yeah, I can handle my own, but like I said, friends. I'm gonna stay close.
Absolutely. As the years go on, the village starts to warm up to Morrow and know that he is still protecting them, and he's still kind of a strange guardian, but he protects that path and all the paths in and out of the village. And every time at night there's a candle that burns at the shrine in the middle of the city, no matter what. Even in the worst of storms, it still stays lit as that light for the village.
Nice.
So,
and then every once in a while, a drunken vagrant stumbles off into the woods to take a leak and just is never seen again, you know?
Hey, I never said he was a cannibal or anything like that. You entirely...
No. You did the whole like, what's one flesh as opposed to the other? What's this, that? You played the whole game of this guy's going to eat this little girl the whole time. So yeah. So you kind of figured out that you were a. So I was a wood elf ranger, fey wanderer. I know that like I had, obviously because of that, I had great perception, great stealth. I was good in the woods. I knew a little bit about my like weapons and stuff in that sense. So I know that there's spell casting involved in that respect, but like that was hit or miss type of thing to try to pull off in some instances. Yeah. So I was trying to think if there's anything else that I was like implying out of it. I still don't know my name.
Okay. So do you want me to tell you your backstory?
Yeah. If you don't mind.
Okay. Your name is Aaron Vale, a half-elf ranger descended from one of Black Hollow's founding families. Their ancestors helped bind Morrow into the last lantern. As a child, Aaron got lost near the shrine and was guided safely home by Morrow. That encounter left a trace of fey magic in them. Aaron later returned to free Morrow, but their guardian, Captain Illyria Vale interrupted the ritual. In the struggle, the lantern's magic erased and scattered Aaron's memories. Illyria secretly sent Aaron away, afraid they would try again. The night is not an accident. The lantern charm has drawn Aaron back because Morrow recognizes them. So,
Gotcha.
like I said, you were touched by the Fae. That way, you had that connection with him, and you had tried to save him once. That's what I was trying to get you to find with those bowls.
Okay.
I should have had you do but yeah, so I don't know. I thought this was.
That's good. No, I like the way it played out. I enjoyed that.
To do that and kind of scratch an itch. I know, you obviously haven't played since you went down, and Jerry just kind of filtered off into the ether and became the moon god.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I don't know. And like we said at the beginning of last episode, since this carried over into 2 episodes, let us know if you want us to do this again. I would love to get some of our friends together and maybe do an actual one shot over
on Roll20
Discord and be able to stream it for you guys. I think that would be a lot of fun. You could see how everybody kind of interacts and how goofy our D&D people are. Even if you don't know anything, when I said roll with advantage, you get to roll 2 20-sided dice and you take the higher of the number. When I ask for stealth checks or anything like that you roll a d20 and you have certain stats that you base those rolls off of. They give you certain multipliers. The character that I was playing, that I'm currently playing but haven't played in a while, his intelligence modifier was a -2. So it was his dump stat basically. He has a 20 in strength and a 20 in constitution. So
Josh and I are notorious for strong characters that are really dumb but really strong.
Yeah, and it's fun because it was a stark contrast for the 2 characters that I played recently. I had a dragonborn mystic pirate that was very cunning, very charismatic, and could solve most any puzzle that our DM threw our way. And I'm currently playing a character that gets to sit back and let everybody else figure everything out because he's too dumb to figure it out. Yeah, so exactly. I love doing that because it's funny. I'll look over and be like, well, I bet you sure wish Varen was here when everybody else is struggling to figure out. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
That was good. I liked it.
I love little one shots like this. But yeah, like I said, if you want us to do it again, let us know. I'd be more than happy to do it again, and I would be more than happy to let Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say next time I'll try to plan something and get it so that I'm doing all the voices and the development and stuff, and let Josh be the one who's rocking the character, trying to figure out who he is and what race he is and all that kind of stuff. Because for me, as you guys saw, I didn't figure out a lot of the stuff about Aaron, but it was good to at least pick up some of the pieces along the way.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. You have a blank character sheet and you fill it in as you find out things about yourself. It's where I saw it originally was you go into a tavern and you're like, okay, well, I want to go talk to the barmaid, and she looks at you and she's like, wow, we don't get many dragonborns in here, and you're just like, I'm a dragonborn.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. I would look forward to doing that again. So as we get ready to wrap up today, because we're just quite a bit over time from what we normally do, but that's okay. We're good with that. Right. But I just want to remind you guys that we have a link tree. If you follow the link that's in the description of anywhere you're listening, anytime you see our stuff on social media, if you click on the link down there, it'll take you to our link tree, and it has links for everything. So if you're looking to listen along on any of the podcast platforms, if you want to find us on YouTube, if you want to find us on any of the social media platforms, especially Facebook and Instagram are kind of our most common ones, you can find us there. And like Josh always says, go on there, leave us comments, leave us likes and follows. Do both of them, because you could do one and not do the other. Go on, give us a 5-star rating somewhere, and either tell us you love us or that you hate us. We don't care what you say, as long as you do it with 5 stars, then we'll be happy about it. So
right, exactly. And it's one of those things where, like I said, we're not necessarily looking for any recognition or anything like that, but even if you don't like an episode, like don't base your entire review on one episode. It's so easy to kind of do that. You take one off episode and you're like, oh man, this is terrible. It's like, hey, give us our other listens and then give us a rating. We're not asking you to rate a single episode because you're not rating a single episode, you're rating the entire show.
Right, because like these 2 episodes, today and last week's, we did this one-shot D&D style thing, but that's the first time we've done this. And so we've got plenty of other things like various games that we play, topics that we cover and stuff. And so we do a pretty wide variety. We want to keep doing that for you guys, and hopefully it's entertaining for all of you guys. But we hope that you guys have a great rest of your week this week. Have fun this weekend and stuff. And we will look forward to seeing you guys next Monday with the next episode. And I think that will be our final one for the month of August, which means that we'll be doing listener comments. So get your comments in. We would love to see those. Otherwise, we will see you guys in the next episode. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Forgot how hard it is to like drive the narrative.
Oh yeah.
And kind of rethink on the fly. And it's like, well, because I didn't want to give a lot of it away because it's like, well, you could like try to kill him.
Right.
And like break the lantern and then, you know, he's saved that way. Or you could have like almost killed him and then he just kind of, you know, is still trapped in the lantern and things like that. But
I know to some degree too, you were probably thinking along the lines of, because of my typical play style, that at some point in time it was going to be like, oh, he's just going to get, like, as soon as you said the thing about potentially eating the little girl, I'm just going to be like, nope, and draw swords and just start swinging type of thing. But I was like, the more I heard from the guy, the more I was kind of like, I think that there's something here that I can play on in a sense of kind of reconciling the story as opposed to just like our typical smash and grab type of thing.
Yeah. Well, and it was one of those things where there was different ways that you could have handled it, and I don't know, like I really wanted to do like a one shot, just the 2 of us like this.
Yeah.
Because I think it works well with the podcast dynamic because it's easy to do and it's conversational.
Yeah, and it's storytelling. I mean, that's the great part about it too, is like you get to kind of get a nice little short story in and kind of the backstory and everything all in one shot. So it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a one shot.
Or 2 episodes.
Right. That's right.